Moth's Mistandings, presented by the We Hate Anime podcast. This week's episode: Abortion Clinic After Party. Alright, so welcome everybody. We're doing a new segment now. Mike has completely gone insane and is allowing me to do my own sideshow, and we're calling it Moth's Misunderstandings. You guys might remember a few episodes back, we had a gentleman named Det with us, and I've invited him
Hello.
back. Yeah. This is Det.
Hello. It's me. I'm back.
Yeah,
After my tirade against Two Hit Mama, I'm back.
That was, you know, in retrospect, I think just compared to some of the other crap I've watched since Two Hit Mama, I can almost forgive Two Hit Mama for being such utter garbage.
You know, yeah, I think it's really bad because like that's the last anime that I think I finished in a few months now. So I can't even say it's that bad.
You know, there's one actually that it's really weird because if you know me and you and I have talked about our taste in anime before, like I hate isekais and I really hate like the VR animes like dot hack and whatnot.
Like your SAO dot hacks, yeah.
Bofuri is really, really good. It is everything I hate about anime done so well that I can't hate it. And that's the one where it's the I don't want to get hit, so I maxed out my vitality.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that one. Yeah.
It's if I the guy who I hate Moe. If I'm telling you to watch that, you need to watch that, Det.
I probably will with that recommendation. Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. It's everything. In fact, I like it so much that while I'm working on my AMV videos right now, like I actually have 4 episodes pulled up to splice for a 20-second track.
Nice. Oh, so you're doing AMV shit as well because I picked it up not that long ago.
You follow you follow me on Twitter, Det.
I follow you on Twitter. I know. I'm like, you know what? I should probably start doing some stuff too. I have After Effects on this computer now, so I'm like, fuck it.
Let's
just go for it.
I use Hit Film Express, and that's mostly because Frog, my co-host, I was like, hey guys, I want to do some video editing for like This Is America by Childish Gambino. And Frog,
I saw that, yeah.
And Frog, like, he sat down and probably for like 4 to 5 hours just taught me how to use the program, and then I think he regrets it now.
He probably does.
Because his timeline is just filled with gay porn.
I mean, it was before that, but now to look at a little bit more. Get a little extra in there.
So the reason we have you is apparently I have too many stories to keep on the podcast. So we're going off and we're doing our own offshoot show now where I talk about the stuff that, you know, would take up too much time on the podcast. It's supposed to be anime centric. And I think the topic and the reason I invited you, because I would love to see your perspective. That's what I asked you in for. We're going to talk about anime convention culture. Like, just con culture in general, but we're going to specifically target anime convention culture.
Yeah.
And I figured, Det, I think you and I are similar in age. You're like 26, 27?
I'm 26.
Yeah, okay. So you were probably in the tail end of watching like the grassroots conventions get big, but you probably remember some of the grassroots conventions.
I go to a few grassroots conventions. There are a few in my local area that are like literally like the basement of a Sheraton hotel, like size. Like they're still like super small. The only big one that I can think of that like went from like the basement to the big stage was like is Boston, Anime Boston. Okay, is the big one that I can think of.
Now you got to realize, like, I live in Alaska, so we're lucky if our anime con gets 4,000 people, and it's been going for over a decade.
Yeah, I think Anime Boston. I think the last time I went last year, I think it was like 50K attendance or some shit like that.
Yeah, you know that's a little bit better than 4.5 to 7,000.
Yeah, a little bit. I kind of yearn for the old days when it wasn't as big because I feel like it's just like there's no focus and it's just everyone's just there's bodies. It's just bodies.
Does it feel like Comic-Con to you a little bit?
No, because it smells better.
Okay, all right, that's fair. You know, I think actually, because up in Alaska we have SenshiCon, and I actually think the people who have SenshiCon don't realize how good they have it, because we have a community, And yeah, sure, it'd be great to get, 12, 13, 15,000 people so that we can get real A-list members of the anime community. I think one year we got Jessica Nagiri and everybody lost their minds. Uh,
Yeah.
Most of the time we get voice actors, and honestly, we have voice actors the community loves to see come up every year, but we never get like big guests. Um,
Yeah.
we got like really lucky, and we got the voice actor. I want to say for Deku for the English VA for Hero Academia at one point, and that was like
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I met him before.
yeah, and we are getting better voice actors. Like we got Max Middleton, who I'm trying to remember what he did, but he's kind of the A list for American VAs. So we do get some people, but the reason SenshiCon is so nice is you can go to the gaming hall and you can always sit down and find somebody to play with. Like there's always fighting games going on. Like, and it's the community is
Man.
big enough that you'll have somebody to play games with just walking in, but it's not so big that the gaming room just feels capitalized.
Yeah. My I'll just use Anime Boston because the biggest. It's the one that I can really focus on the most. There's a big gaming section, like a big gaming room in there, and it's always crowded. It's not always crowded, but it's always packed. There's always someone at a chair.
Oh yeah.
The most you'll like if you want to play Smash, good luck. If you want to play like they have Cabinet Street Fighter,
Yeah.
you're good for that. You're gonna get bullied by a Japanese player, but you're gonna be good for that for like a few like hours or some shit.
Man,
Uh, the
we'll talk more about the fighting game tourneys at cons like at the end of this. But yeah,
yeah.
like it's I got some questions for you, Det, because you care a little bit more about fighting games than I do. So it's always nice to get somebody else's perspective.
Hey man, I'm always down to talk to expose the FGC's balls live on stream, because it's a mess right now.
Oh, you know what? I think like the last fighting game news that I saw was what's his name, the furry who won Dragon Ball Fighter, and then promptly
Sonic
got
Fox,
his
yeah.
ass beat, and Sky called him out on it.
Yeah, Sonic Fox.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like them.
Yeah, no,
I like
they're
them a
great.
lot.
It's just
They-
it's kind of cathartic to see somebody with a huge ego fall.
Oh yeah, but they're also like 22, 21 or some shit.
Dude, when I was
Like
22, like I was loud as hell, so I'll give him that.
yeah, if you were like imagine like 21-year-old Moth winning like an international tournament.
Yeah, that's totally fair because I think the most I ever did was like win local Halo tournaments.
Yeah, the most I ever did was I went to Evo and then got drowned in pools. So you know what, man? I'm I
What game
can't
did you
say
get
shit.
drowned in?
I got ground. It was 2021, so this was 2000 and 2015.
Okay.
I think it was like Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Well, so you got drowned in a bad game, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fine. It's not like you got drowned in Skullgirls. Well, wait, never mind. Skullgirls were made to Evo. Fuck. We'll talk about that later.
So
But, yeah.
So, Dad, I got a couple of questions for you, and they might come off as a little personal. So if you don't like them, let me know, and I'll cut them from audio or something like that. All right?
I got no qualms.
Okay. So the first one is you live by or in Boston, like in that area, Massachusetts.
I live by Boston. Yeah, I live a good like half-hour drive, and that's not saying much because there's a lot of towns in that half-hour drive between where I live and Boston.
Okay. All right. The reason I ask, it just trying to get an idea, and so this is a question, and I actually ran this one by my wife because I think it's very interesting. So with me, I tend to have a wide cast of characters available to me to cosplay as long as the character's not too tall, like an admiral from One Piece or something. I tend to be pretty
Yeah.
okay. If I'm correct, and you're gonna like rail me for getting this wrong, I think you said you're like half black, half Brazilian.
I am half Brazilian, half Russian.
Okay.
But the Brazilian side is all black.
Okay.
Like
So
there's not like a drop of white in that bloodstream.
okay. All right. That's weirdly enough, you'd actually probably fit in pretty well in Russia. I went into I went into a weird Russia boo phase for about 3 years, and now I have pretty much every legal Russian firearm you can own in America. And
Nice,
their culture
nice.
is actually more diversified than you think. Like, just if you
Oh
look
no,
at where they are geographically.
yeah, no, I know, I'm well aware. I've been to Russia at least once or twice in my life to visit extended family there. I also visit my grandfather, um, the surly old man who yearns for the day before the walls fell. Oh man, Grandpa,
It was
you were a
so
weird
good
one.
when we had Comrade Cola.
He genuinely believed that. Like for the longest time, like he was so mad at Gorbachev for the longest time. Like only like I think like only
For letting that
like
one dude dance?
yeah, for that one guy day, it's like, you let the capitalist in, fuck.
Oh,
Um,
shit. That's actually
no,
funny.
he like this like, oh god, I could tell story. I could have an entire podcast dedicated to just my grandfather's dumbass stories. I'll try to keep it short. There's one story, like it's the most like archetypical Russian story you'll ever hear in your life.
Yeah.
Grandfather, he's missing like pretty much his entire hand, his right hand is just missing because of the war,
Which
and
war?
exactly.
Damn.
I think it's Afghanistan. He lost like half his hand in Afghanistan. I think.
Then he lost the other half in
Um,
Iraq.
yeah, exactly. Um, and this is like 3 years before he died. He's like 99 at this point.
Jeez.
He's in the middle of the fucking nowhere. Like you need like and my uncle tells me a story of how one like morning a bear started to approach the house. Well, my uncle got his gun ready. My grandfather just walked to the bear and screamed at it, and then it looked at him, and then just walked away.
You know, that's the most Russian thing I've ever heard.
It just walked the fuck away, and it's like, okay, yeah. He smells that bear can smell death,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh,
well, you don't mess with like the old babushka. You don't mess with, oh, it's
yeah,
I don't I mean, the most I've had is when I was growing up in Eagle River, Alaska. We grew up in like the mountainside, where not the mountainside, but like the foot of the mountain. And there's a lot of
yeah.
wildlife there. And I think when I was 7 or 8, I just ran headfirst into a bull moose because I turned a corner without seeing it. And
Oh Jesus
moose
Christ!
are a lot bigger than you think. Like you got an image of a horse.
Yeah,
Increase the total mass of that horse by about 30%, and that's and with horns, and that's a moose.
God, I only met like I've only seen a moose just like in passing when I lived in Quebec.
Yeah,
Um,
moose doing it in
I
Quebec.
never.
Oh right, Quebec, not
Yeah,
Argentina.
yeah, Quebec. Yeah, in Quebec, yeah, not Argentina. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. I'm,
Don't worry, I'm not that kind of. I'm not that kind of Latin American. I don't harbor Nazis. Wait, hold on, wait. Mm, it's not a good analogy. Never mind.
no, I got a buddy from Argentina. He'll throw hands with you all day.
Oh, I will. Oh, Argentinians. Oh, give them to me.
Oh man,
I
that,
listen. I'm against nationalism and patriotism, but I will throw hands with an Argentinian. I don't give a shit.
I
As a Brazilian, it is my right and duty to
well,
throw
I
hands.
I told you what his like favorite joke is, right?
I think you have,
Yeah, it's
but please retell.
yeah, retell the joke so I can get the entire podcast canceled in the first episode.
Let's go.
So he's from Argentina, and he always says he goes, "Oh, Moth, do you know why Dragon Ball is so popular in Brazil?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why, buddy?" And he's like, "Because the Brazilians are monkeys and Goku's a monkey." And that's like, that's the
God.
joke. That's the joke.
That's an Argentinian. Yep, gotta have to throw hands now. This is just how it is. Why are we still fighting?
I don't know. Like, I will be honest with you though. Like, for as much as I thought like white racism was bad, we don't have a damn
Dude,
thing on like South America or Middle Eastern racism.
dude, oh my god. The fucking we Brazilian racism is so uniquely weird, right?
Yeah,
Because you'd think, oh, Latin American country, mostly like brown or like darker skin. No, it's a lot of white people in Brazil. A lot of white people in Brazil.
yeah. And you
Um,
guys actually
and
fight about being white.
it's an ongoing. It's like daily struggles of just like, yeah. No, it's yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and quote because I play Rainbow Six Siege with a couple of Brazilians, and they are the best guys to play with. Like they're actually like from Brazil, and they
Yeah.
are the single most racist, like angry human beings I've ever played with, and I love it. Like, tell me if this
Oh yeah.
sounds. Tell me, like, I'm just gonna quote them directly, and I apologize for this, but tell me if this sounds like Brazilians to you, okay?
Go for it.
They go, "Hey, don't worry, Moth. We're the good Brazilians. We're the white
Yeah.
Brazilians." And then they don't say the
Yeah.
N word. They say like "nigar," and they like drag the AR as long as they can.
Oh yeah. Negra.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they say. Yeah,
Us. Yeah,
and
negra.
they're like,
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting here in a corner, like, what are you guys trying to like impress? And then I told them I was German once, and all of a sudden one of them screams like, "Yeah, screw the Jew guy, right?" And I'm
Oh
just like,
God.
what did I just walk into? Like, does this sound real though? Like, this doesn't sound like I'm making it up, right?
This no. This sounds very real. This sounds very real. Um. God, man. Fucking. It's even funny when you come when they come stateside.
Oh
When they
man,
come stateside and then they start talking to an American, like a white American, and they're like, "Hey, I'm one of you." Like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
I
The
dude, as
fuck are you
long as
doing here,
somebody
kid?
comes up to me with a cheerful enough disposition and they're not a Jehovah's Witness, I tend to not have an issue.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that's like hypocritical because I'm
Yeah,
Mormon, and
yeah. I was gonna say anything, but like,
no, it's one of the cities I work in, Soldotna. It is just overrun with Jehovah's Witnesses. And bear in mind, like, when you work out long enough, you come to the opinion that as long as somebody goes to the gym, their religion's valid. And don't ask me where you start thinking that, but after a while, you just start thinking, oh, this guy goes to the gym. Whatever religion he's a part of, yeah, he's a good guy. Because I've
yeah.
never seen a Satanist at the gym.
Well, you know, you got a point.
Well, it's like,
Oh
never mind,
man,
never mind. Um,
when I go into that,
Oh,
ooh,
where was I going with that? Oh, but in Soldotna, it is just a Jehovah's Witness compound. And these guys have jumped me at like 2 in the morning in the middle of November at a gas station before. I've had a guy, it's 2 in the morning in the middle of the gas station. If you know Alaska, like, for 6 months during the year, it's bright all day. Like, from now, March, it doesn't get dark until, or from now in May, it doesn't get dark until about 11. By the time we're in July, it doesn't get dark. But in the inverse, by the time it's like November, it's dark by 4 or 5 o'clock. So it's 2 a.m. in November, so it's the darkest dark. And I'm filling up my gas at this dimly lit gas station with one light. It doesn't even have the overhang that lights up the entire overhang of the pumps. It's just this little light. And this dude comes walking out of nowhere with a big smile on his face. And he's like, "Hey, you!" And I open my car door so I can just stand by my concealed firearm. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "I'm incredibly happy." And right as he says that, I like flip the safety. I'm like, "Okay,
okay,
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
good.
yeah, sounds great." And he goes, "And you could be happy too." And then he like reaches it, and I'm getting nervous because I've never had to pull a firearm in my life, and I really didn't want to. So I stall, and if this had actually been a situation, I'd be dead. But I
Oh yeah.
intentionally stall just to see where this goes, and he pulls a pamphlet out of his pocket. And the pamphlet it's not even a pamphlet, it's a full-on copy of the Watchtower, which, as much as I kind of get mad at Jehovah's Witnesses, I love the Watchtower because it's the most apocalyptic crap on the planet. It's like my favorite graphic novel at this point, if you've ever seen a copy of the Watchtower.
I have not now.
It's the Jehovah's Witness, like, doomsday prep magazine, basically.
Oh yes. Oh no, I know. When I used to train into my cap up into Boston to go to work, there would always be someone at the entrance of the train station with the pamphlet, with like, the little cart and the pamphlet, just hand them out.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah.
It's one of these.
So the moment I see the Watchtower, I realize who he is, and I'm like, I feel bad that I even got nervous. So I take the pamphlet, and the dude just kind of walks, and as soon as he's out of the light, I don't see him anymore. I'm like, well, that was really weird. And this stuff
you
happens. all
Dude,
the
that's a
time.
fucking SCP. You would kind of. It's a fucking anomaly, man. That's not real.
Yeah, it's
That
gotten to the
person was
point.
not real.
It's actually gotten to the point now that when I eat in Soldana, like if I go to their Arby's or their Taco Bell or like any of their like like their fast food joints and I sit down, I always sit by one of the entrances, and the moment a woman comes in wearing a skirt, I leave. Like,
Yeah.
because I know she's going to hand me a pamphlet every time without fail. Like, if two or three women come in with skirts, like I'm out before they can even get to the counter.
God.
And I know it's horrible, but I'm like, at least with missionaries,
No.
I can immediately identify you. And actually, a lot of the time, like, missionaries don't enjoy talking to random strangers. So, like, if I see them, unless it's like a new guy who's only been out in the field for 6 months, like, there's a good chance he's not going to jump me. So I'm like, okay. And even if he does, like, I kind of just pull my shirt to the side and show my garments a little. I'm like, don't worry, man. Don't worry.
We got to be. I'm on your side. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Sorry, we went on a tangent, but I had a question.
That's. Yeah, go for it.
So, with you being half Brazilian, do you ever feel like the amount of characters you can cosplay as if you cosplay is limited?
Oh, all the time. All
Okay.
the time.
Because I figure you're
I
like, I can be Killer B or I can be the Raikage. And those are my choices.
yeah. Or I could be that black kid from Death from Soul Eater, or I can be, um, God, the black guy from Black Lagoon,
Or you
or I
could
can be
be
the black
Jet from Outlaw, or not Outlaw Star, Jet from Cowboy Bebop.
Give her a bebop. Yeah, I'm literally preparing a Barrett cosplay because after playing FF7R, I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Well,
I can
they
do that.
made Barrett like much less bulky than he used to be.
Also it's kind of hard to tell how bulky he was because he's like fucking like 8 polygons.
Nah, the dude was a walking brick house. Like you could tell from the cutscenes that he was like 5'4" and just full of rage.
Yeah,
He was like
full
the
of
ultimate
religious
defensive
zealotry.
lineman.
Just you walk into him and you fall down. Not even just like run. You just walk.
Yeah.
An aura.
Well, it's something I take for granted because I'm at the point, and I'm sure you would kill to be here, but I'm at the point where I actually like look for cosplays that I like their personality. Like last year when I did Demon Slayer, I really liked Inosuke's personality, and I had the ability just to do that. I could have been anybody from the cast of Demon Slayer, so that's something I often take for granted, and I apologize that's an issue you run into.
Yeah. Um, it's such a weird. It's like an ongoing struggle in the in like the black space of cosplay where it's like we'll defend each other when it's like, oh yeah, a black person cosplaying a white or like a or a not black character. Let's say that for us to be real here, not black character is what we really mean. Um, but like the issue comes from like the outside. It's never from within. It's always like the people onlooking being like, oh, you're effectively just I guess making Naruto wear blackface, and I'm like,
Homeboy, I'm black.
homeboy, I am black. Like, no, you're making the character wear black.
No, it's
It's
something.
hilarious.
Um, it's something because it's to me. I've always like because I realize it. I'm like, you guys have a total of 12 active recognizable characters without going into the Fate universe, so I recognize
Yeah.
it. And trust me, race has not stopped a single Middle Eastern guy from cosplaying as Sasuke. So you're totally fine.
Oh
But
yeah, I'm well aware. It's like that weird like you get the eyes. You don't you never see it, but you feel it like on the peripheral.
and it's kind of sad. I feel bad. I think the only because we have maybe 7 black people in Alaska, and 4 of
Yeah.
them are the single family. No, actually, we have a lot more than that. But at SenshiCon last year, we had a Narancia cosplayer from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5.
Yeah.
And she was black, and she pulled it perfectly. So I've kind of gotten to the point, and I don't know why this isn't a default mindset for everyone, but it's like, you're already not that person. Why does your race matter? Like, I'm obviously not Inosuke. I'm obviously not Present Mike or any of the other people I've ever cosplayed. Why does anything else matter?
Yeah. I think the best version of this though was that I kind of the argument that I always go for is these characters aren't even white. They're
No, they're
Japanese.
not. Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Japanese. They're not speaking. You want to see what an American character looks like? Go look up Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Go look up fucking what's his name? The American
Bandit
guy from
Keith.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Bandit Keith. Yeah, that's It's a white guy in anime. You go cosplay him. Feel free. Um,
I always kind of felt like Spike Spiegel was white. Like I got
Spice
a
speaks.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I always felt like he was like Gene Starwind. I always felt was kind of white, but like these
Yeah.
are we're talking about like '90s anime, like where I think they were trying to appeal to the white demographic back
Bastion
then.
Stampede is white.
Yeah, because he's a blonde dude. Like you can't really get around
Blonde
that.
dude. Yeah, he's white. He's white. Everyone. Okay, you know what? Here's the caveat. Everyone in FMA is white. You can argue that, except for the black people
Well, that's
and the
kind of like when you
Asians.
do the isekai animes, like the one that's currently airing Eighth Grandson or My Life as a Villainess. Like obviously they're white because it's this weird pseudo Victorian fantasy land.
Yeah.
But then again, it's an isekai, and if you cosplay as an isekai, I reserve the right to beat you.
You have relinquished your rights as a human, and
No,
will
you know
be
what? Like if I saw a Demiurge cosplayer from Overlord, I'd be okay with it.
yeah, yeah. It depends on the amount of quality. It's
Yeah.
like your rights are level to the amount of quality you put into the cosplay. So like Kirito's, yeah, bottom of the totem pole. Bottom of the totem
Well,
pole. It's
because
just
I hate to say it, but like the Wish.com vendors for cosplays can actually make Kirito look good. And when the China budget bin cosplay can make it look good, like I'm a little bit skeptical.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I guess it's yeah.
Like I don't want to cosplay shame people because I actively feel that everyone should be in the community and everybody should enjoy it. And I realize that not everybody is me who has like $1,000 a year to blow on a cosplay. I
Yeah.
realize that. And so I'm not going to shame people, especially not children. Like if I see a 14-year-old walking around as Kirito,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like,
No,
I
I'm not gonna. I was around during the surge of Attack on Titan cosplayers, and I'm like, you
uh
know what?
that was the worst. The
You're
skin
allowed.
tight, like
You're that's fine.
the
Because
tights.
because I promise you, if anime cons were as big as they were when we were kids, and the animes that we were watching were super popular like they were now, we would there would be like Goku cosplayers every fucking three like square feet.
Oh yeah, well because that's all that
There
there
would
was.
be uh fuck, dude. There'd be like 1,000 Sailor Moons. There'd be like billions of fucking. My brain is not making the connection. Hold on.
You're good.
Oh shit.
Meanwhile, I'd be like swinging.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You know what I
no.
mean.
Like I'd be swinging
It's
around like
like
big dick 11-year-old in Tenchi cosplay.
the whoop.
Like
Hold up.
yeah, we got
Discord.
disconnected for a second. I'll have
Oh
to
yeah.
edit this. But I'd be like 11 years old, like swinging around big dick, like Tenchi Muyo cosplay. Like hell yeah.
Ex- exactly. Yeah. It's like we would be in the exact same place that that all these kids were,
Yeah,
but we don't see that. A lot of like other cosplay adults don't see that. They're like, look at these kids, look at these
yeah.
fucking these. But I will draw the line though. I'm drawing a line in the sand.
With a
If I
16-year-old
see
wearing an Ahigao hoodie,
yes, but
he
more
deserves to get
importantly,
beat because
if I
that's
see
social conditioning.
if I see another Deku, flower crown Deku with a Bakugo on a leash, I'm gonna start shooting. I'm gonna start a shooting,
I
and it will not
once
be.
again, I can't be mad because most of the people I see walking around in like UA uniforms with a wig are high schoolers, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you're part of the community. I'm not gonna be mad.
it's the leash. It's the leash.
It's the
That
leash.
kill. It's the leash, man. It's the leash. It's kind of it's like why stop that.
Do you ever get those like? Do you ever see that? And like, I feel weird saying this because if out of context, it sounds like I'm objectifying children. But when you see that
Yeah.
leash cosplay, is one of them like generally pretty overweight, and the other one's like attractive or like skinny?
Most of the time,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Most of the
exactly.
time, yeah.
It's the weirdest because it is just the weirdest dynamic I've ever seen. It's always like a skinny and a heavy one when they do that.
Yeah, it's never like consistent. Well, sometimes it's consistent, but most of the time it isn't. And thinking of that, I actually kind of want to get into, like we talk about like how like like these things like the leash deku bakugos and the ahego hoodie shit, but man, it's so much better than how it was.
Oh gosh, yeah, we're
it
gonna
I
actually that's a perfect segue because I grew up in Idaho. I didn't grow
Yeah,
up in Idaho. I grew up in Alaska, and then for my high school years, I moved to Idaho. Idaho is a very very weird population. I think 90% of the population is white. About 9.5% is Latino.
yeah,
0.3% is black, and then like 0.2% is Russian immigrants. Like, and this is mid 2000s. It's probably diversified a lot, but like growing up, I felt like I was in an ethno state.
yeah.
Uh, and it's a farming community, and anime started to get big for us back in 2006, 2007. That's like when the first conventions started happening more than outside like California and New York.
Yeah, like when like all these other like when the grassroots started popping up.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's like I don't know for you. Did you have the conventions in the high schools?
no, I never did. What the hell?
Yeah, for us it was like we would get conventions where they would like rent out the high school for a weekend, or they would rent out like the school library for a weekend or something like that. Or not the school library, but like the public library. Did you ever got
Huh?
those?
No, never. Wow, that's wild.
I think we had one con where it was like I don't know if it was CUNA because a lot of those in the Boise Meridian area, a lot of the cities kind of bleed into each other, so they almost feel like districts of each other, not full cities. But I think it was like either the CUNA or the Nampa Center back in 2006, 2007. The anime convention, maybe 2008, 2009. The anime convention there was literally in a community center, and it was 4,000 square feet, and 2,000 of that was the vendor hall. And I mean, that's not bad, but like there
No,
were
it's not
only
bad.
800 people in total. Like there were no guests, there were hardly any panels. It was mostly people like standing around either playing video games or watching anime in back rooms or then having sex in back rooms.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's always happens. Yeah,
anime nerds be horny.
they're so horny, man.
And they
Oh
have
my
no
god.
actual idea of what sex is, so you walk in on them and they're in like some weird ass Karma Sutra Jumanji position that you've never even heard of before because they have no idea how
It's
normal people are supposed to bone.
it's just like the most. Dude, I walked in a hotel room once and they had the swing set up. I'm like, what the fuck?
What? Who brought
Why?
the swing?
Who brought the swing? Why? It wasn't being used, but it's just there. I'm like,
I will
listen, man, I just
say,
came for weird. I just
I
came for weird. I didn't come for fucking weird kinky shit. Come on, man.
I will say the one thing I'm happy have it hasn't come with us as anime conventions have gotten bigger is I'm glad the grooming has started getting like it's completely called out now. But like
Oh yeah,
back
oh yeah. It's
I don't know back and it was always guys preying on girls. Very rarely. I think I can count the number of times on one hand it was an older woman preying on a younger guy. But like it was always weird neckbeard dudes in trench coats who they were cool because they had a Ford Pinto like preying on 15-year-old girls who didn't know any better.
yeah, it's bad. Well, I can give you a really like poignant example of it. It still happens, but like it's a bit more insidious. Yeah, insidious. Um, because it'll happen, but the guy who's doing it is super big in the cosplay community. Like it's
Ah,
like a
where
huge,
he's
and it's
bulletproof and
like
he has defenders.
he has defenders, and he's like well, like everyone knows it's like the Harvey Weinstein shit, where it's like everyone knows, but he's so important that no one can say shit
See, we don't
unless
we
you're
don't
outside.
I know what you're talking about because the punk scene in Idaho had guys like that all the time where it's like he's an up and coming band frontman, dude. You can't be mad at him for banging a 14-year-old who snuck in. Like, come on, man.
Come on, dude.
It was
No,
it was supposed to be an ages 16 and up show. And I'm like, yeah, well that still leaves 2 years, dick.
it's still illegal in every state.
In
Like,
every
most,
rational state, not Alaska,
yeah,
but every rational state.
and I'm like, what the fuck, man? God. And it's like, okay, what does this guy do? Well, he's really good with EVA film. I'm like, that's it?
Like
That's it?
that's his specialty.
He's a prop maker? That's it?
You know, I definitely messed around with girls like up until I turned about 18. I definitely messed around with girls where I could not tell you their age. Generally, I tried to make sure they were like within a year of me. But like
Yeah.
as like 17 started creeping up to 18 like in the last 6 months, like if the girl wasn't 16, I didn't waste my time. Like,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Uh.
because back then, like, because the Me Too resurgence that we saw like in 2018 or like
Yeah.
2017,
That's what he said. Same.
there was like a micro version of that when I was growing up, like 2006, 2007, where girls were actually, and good, but like girls were getting brave enough to actually like be like, hey, this guy touched me inappropriately. So like I was dodging. Like I was like, the moment
Oh
I
yeah.
turned 18, I broke up with my girlfriend because she was 17. Like that day, I was like, hey, sorry to call me when you're 18, and just hung up.
Come when you're 18. Bye later. Whoop. Uh, my thing was always like the one that happened here was more like, yeah, there's like a group of dudes that are basically like having a grooming ring.
Ah,
Um, can we like solve that? And we did get that solved, fortunately, but like a little bit later than we wanted to. Like, a lot of people wanted to. I wanted to specifically because a little background on me. I'm like the oldest. I'm the oldest child of six girls.
oh really? So yeah, you're
I have a,
protective.
I have a twin who's like we're like the two heads of the house. In fact, my mom's just doing her own thing. We're the two heads of the house, and like I had to like be like that's why I got into guns super young because it was like okay I gotta adopt the dad persona because dad wasn't around or whatever. Um, and then just like all right, okay. Oh, is some dude's grooming kids? All right. What's his address? I just want to have a talk. Just a
I
little
just want to
talk.
talk. I just want to
Just
talk.
loading the shotgun. Loading the shotgun. I just want to talk. I just want to talk.
Yeah, it's that's one of the, I don't like vigilante justice, but I don't like pedophiles, so I'll let you figure out where I stand on that.
It's the hard line. It's like, ooh, where do we draw? You know, man, India had the right idea. The fucking the those like the mob of women that just fucking go out in the streets and just fucking grab dudes. Like, you know what? I can't be that mad.
Well, they did it in response to the fact that they weren't being taken seriously.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing too, because it's like I'm black, right? I call the cops. An angry
No,
black guy calls the cops. Okay,
no,
well,
Det, you're white. You're 100% white, Det. You're Brazilian.
oh shit, you're right. I'm one of the good ones. Shit, fuck, I forgot. You're right. You know, you're right.
And when I'm
I
right,
just
I'm
gotta
right.
pull up. I pull out my Russian and my Canadian passports. Like, yo, no, I'm white. See, yo, black guy can get these passports. Nah, man, I'm one of you.
Yeah, but you were saying, like, black guy calls the cops, nothing's gonna happen.
I'm not, nothing's gonna happen. So I'm like, you know what? You gotta adopt that vigilanteism like really quick on the draw. No, for the record, I've never. Hold on.
Dude,
I've never said.
this is a podcast with probably less than 200 active listeners. You
Yeah,
could probably be like, yeah, so I was balls deep in Oprah's daughter, and no one's gonna care.
it's fair. I have never sent someone critically to the hospital for shit they did with my sisters. Never, like that bad. Um, but I've always wanted to go that bad because it's like I just so my stance on like grooming is like yeah I'm zero tolerance and also I'm a dad like I have a 7-year-old daughter that I gotta
Yeah,
look out for now
yeah,
so like you know I'm sensitive
yeah.
if
Yeah.
so I want to do Barrett because Barrett and
Barrett's
me
a
and
dad.
Barrett's a dad and he's sensitive about his daughter and I'm like yo I would also bomb a company for my daughter you know just saying.
I just bought a bunch of fertilizer. Don't ask why, but I did.
Hey man, I'm starting up my own takeout business. That's why I had to buy all this gasoline and styrofoam. It's just I guess needed for like takeout, you know?
You know, that is like one of the most hotly debated topics in the commando community is whether gasoline and styrofoam is actually napalm worthy. And for some
It's
reason, none of them will sit down and try it, but they'll argue about whether or not you can do it all day.
oh man,
So
oh
I
man,
I
it's
got a story for you though, Det. I got one. You
t-
ready? Now this
count me.
story, Mike would not come on this episode because I told him the outline of this story, and he's like, "Yeah, I feel like I just moved because there's a lot to unpack there." But 2008, 2009, I got the swine flu, and
okay,
In a month, I lost 40 pounds. So I went from being 180 pounds to 140 pounds. And I looked really good after that. Like, after I started eating again and bumped back up to like 145 pounds, like, I looked really, really good. I looked slim. I had a good jawline. Like, honestly, if I had figured out what a sit-up was, I could have been a Calvin Klein model at that point. And I looked solid. So about that time, I actually started to gain some confidence, and I started flirting with girls more because I wasn't fat anymore. Like, I wasn't fat before because, 40 pounds, like, that's not a ton of extra weight. But I
Yeah.
definitely, like, I had to wear, like, shirts that complemented my physique a bit because I had a gut. And I started getting more confident, and I started socializing more and, like, hanging out with girls more. I'm, like, 18, 19 years old at this point. And I'd go around town and hang out with people and stuff. And so through my contacts, one of my friends at the time told me like, "Hey man, my buddy who's he was just this guy that I had a friend I had. He was like, hey, there's an anime after party going on in Garden City. And just so you know, like if you live in Idaho and you live in the Meridian Boise area, you will never refer to Garden City as Garden City. You will always refer to it as Garden Shitty. That is like the colloquial term for it because of just it's kind of like where Boise grew out of. Like Boise started as Garden City and
Yeah.
then became its own area, and it's just like the cesspit of town. And you'll realize why as I explain more.
Oh
But he's like,
boy.
yeah, there's an anime after party at Garden City, and at the time GPS kind of existed, but it wasn't good. You could get to the general location, but if it wasn't like a McDonald's or a Hilton, you would never figure out where you were.
Yeah.
So we were driving and
Okay.
we were looking for this after party. And so in my mind, and it's like 9 o'clock at night and it's dark. And so in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, it was maybe 10, 11. In my mind, I'm thinking, like, okay, I just got to look for the people in the costumes. So I find a big building, looked kind of like a bit like a warehouse. And there were probably like 30, 40 people standing in line, like completely dressed up in costume. Like totally dressed up in costume. I'm like, this is it. So me and my buddy, we jump out
Yeah.
of our cars. I'm dressed up like a character from Uran High School Host Club. I think I was one of the twins at the time.
Wow.
I was dressed up as one of the twins. He was just kind of dressed up as a generic anime schoolboy. And we start standing in line, and I start noticing that like nobody looks younger than us. And I think that's a little weird at first. And then eventually one of the people standing in line turns and looks at me, and it's a dude like wearing a big red dress. And at the time I'm thinking he's just like in crossplay. And he looks at me and he's like, "You seem a little young to be here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm 19. What's up?" And he's like, "Don't you know this place is 21 and older, dear?" And I was like, "What?" I'm trying to
What?
figure out what's going on, right? And I'm looking around and like it's just dudes in dresses. And it dawns
Oh.
on me.
Oh. Oh
And I look at him,
no.
I'm like, "Hey man, don't take this the wrong way." I'm like, "Is this a drag bar?" And he goes, "Yeah, I thought you knew that, sweetie. Like, can't you tell?" And I'm like, "This isn't an after party for an anime convention, isn't it?" And the dude thought it was the funniest damn thing on the planet. He was like,
Oh my god.
it was actually like really nice. It's like, "Sweetie, that's so cute." But no, I'm sorry. I'm like, "You wouldn't happen to know where that is, would you?" He's like, "Nope, I got no idea." So eventually we start driving around. And I think I passed this abortion clinic like 3 or 4 times looking for this after party.
That
And
it's very it's a hyper specific like locale to remember. Just
well, no, like I'm driving back and forth along the street because the street is maybe like 2 blocks long, and I'm driving by and it's dark and I can't see anything. And I keep driving by this abortion clinic, and about the fourth pass, I notice there's way more cars in front of this abortion clinic than there should be. So I eventually pull over, and it's not a Planned Parenthood, but it's kind of like the
yeah,
C list
it's
Planned Parenthood. It's kind of like
yeah.
whoops, you got pregnant express kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I pull up, and I finally see people wearing like Vash the Stampede and like because that's like the obvious cosplays like Vash the Stampede and Alucard, like those cosplays.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I pull over and I'm like, "Hey, is this the after party?" And everyone's like, "Yeah, come in." And I'm like, I look at my buddy. I'm like, "This is an abortion clinic. Like, this is actually an abortion clinic."
What the fuck?
And regardless of anybody's stance on abortion clinics, it's
That's
jarring.
that's a weird place to have an after party.
Yeah, like
I didn't.
exactly. So we pull over and we get out and we walk up and we pay like the $3 for the party fees to like pay for the drinks and to rent the place and whatnot. And this is
Yeah.
such a weird place. I was physically out of my body and out of my mind at the same time because Caramel Dancing is blasting on the speakers, and I'm looking at pictures of like the stages of fetal abortion and what they have to do on the wall, like on posters, and it's like supportive posters like "It's your body, your choice." While Caramel Dancing is blasting behind me, and two chicks are making out on a table, and I'm just.
Wow.
It was the most. It was like everybody was just choosing not to acknowledge the fact that we were sitting in an abortion clinic.
That is.
Yep. Right?
Wow. Holy shit.
And it's entirely uncomfortable because you can't look on the wall without being reminded that you're at an abortion clinic. Like it was not a Planned Parenthood because Planned Parenthood like does birth control. They actually do like some form of family counseling, like they do women's health. Like this was in and out abortion clinic.
It's just an abortion clinic. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, man.
And luckily I think that's the only time I've ever been to an abortion clinic in my life. But it was jarring. So after a while, somebody starts running around, and they're like, "Hey, does anybody want to do sign up for the dance contest?" Now, anime conventions. Unless there's a black dude there, nobody knows how to dance. Like, you know what I mean, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I look around, and there's not a single black dude in sight. So I'm like, okay, I can pull this off. So I sign up because once again, I'm arrogant, and I'm feeling good to the fact that I'm actually physically attractive now. I sign up. And I do the dance contest with my buddy. And I won't go into too many details because it involves me taking off a lot of clothes and making out with a lot of male judges. But I won.
Okay. I mean, hey, you gotta do what you
Because
gotta do.
that's all those fangirls want is they want to see dudes making out. And I'm happy to give that to them if that means I win a $25 Subway gift card.
Hey, man, it's a lot of money in the early 2000s time.
Like late 2000s. But like for me,
2000s,
that's 5 lunches, man.
It's a lot of money.
I'll swallow my pride for 5 meals.
Yeah.
But what's important there is I caught the attention of like 3 women, and this is a problem because my buddy at the time like had found his ex was at the con, and so like he's trying to avoid his ex-boyfriend, and so he goes and he hides off with a bunch of other girls like in a back room somewhere, and I guess it was just like they were his friends and they were like comforting him like, oh, don't worry, it's okay that he has a new boyfriend, blah 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 blah. So these 3 girls corner me, and I'm not stupid, but I'll pretend to be stupid for entertainment value. And the ringleader is this like really tall, like 6'2" Amazonian chick, like 6'2". I don't want to describe these girls because I don't want to be like I'm objectifying them. But there's a really tall girl, there's a medium height girl wearing nothing but fishnet and tape, electrical tape.
Yeah.
And because this was perfectly acceptable clothing at anime conventions late 2000s is fishnets and electrical tape.
Yeah, man. I remember when Kill la Kill came out too. It was the same thing.
Yeah.
That part too.
Yep, that's why we had to come up with the phrase "cosplay isn't consent."
Yep.
But
that is why. That is why.
Yeah. So then the third one, like, I just have to say, like, I guess the term would be like she was a goblin. She was like short stack, like 4'8", and all busty, like totally busty.
God.
I just feel like goblin is the only way to describe those kind of girls.
Goblin would be appropriate, actually. Yeah.
Like,
God.
and the leader of them is talking to me. She's like, "Oh, we saw you up there. You're kind of cute." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And she's like, "Yeah, we were gonna ditch this party and maybe go back to my place. Like I got a van and whatnot." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you guys have fun." And then I think she like, because I'm pretending to be dumb, and she's like, "I also have Mario Kart in my van if you like that." I'm like, "Mario Kart?"
She thinks you're autistic. Wow. Holy shit.
So I follow them to her van, and it is a straight up rape van. Like there's just
boy.
like every red flag on the planet. Like there's no back seats. It's got an AC input in the floor. It's like an actual pest extermination van. And she has it. There's no windows. There's like, the opening double doors in the back and the sliding door on the side and the driver door. And sure enough, in that van is a small CRT TV, an N64 with Mario Kart, and a mattress. And so I look at her, I'm like, all right, there's just one thing I got to make clear. And she's like, what's that? I'm like, I get Donkey Kong. So I get Donkey Kong. And we start playing, and about halfway through, because the tall girl owned the van. That was her van.
Yeah.
The other two girls drop their controllers and just start making out. And I really like they go back like behind me, like a foot behind me, and start making out on the mattress. And I look at the tall girl and I'm like, well, looks like at least I'm gonna make second place. And we this is I'm well aware of the situation that's around me, and I don't know if I just wasn't accepting to process it because I was still shocked about being in an abortion clinic for 30 minutes listening to Caramel dancing on repeat. But like, I'm well aware what's going on. I'm well aware what their intentions are, but I'm just letting it happen. And so after like 2 minutes, I think the tall girl finally realized like, is this guy this dense? And so she like grabs me by my shirt collar and in no short terms like throws me on the mattress. And the other two girls were waiting, and they just pounce. Like all three girls pounce. And normally, this is the type of situation that is awesome because like, hey, you lose your virginity in a hat trick. How many guys can say that?
That is true, but this scenario doesn't seem like the kind that you'd be like, I don't know about this.
So they take off my shirt, which I'm okay with, because I'm like, whatever. They've my shirt's already been off 3 times tonight, and they handcuff me, and then I start to get a little nervous because I'm now handcuffed. And believe it or not, like I am actually a relatively good Mormon, and even at the time, I was a relatively good Mormon, and we kind of believe in that whole waiting till marriage thing. So
Yeah.
panic starts to set in as I realize these girls truly intend to have sex with me. The Amazon, like the tall girl's like taking off her skirt and she's like sliding her panties to the side. Like the other girl is like kind of holding me down and like biting my nipples and stuff. Like this is going to happen.
This is a fucking graphic. Holy shit.
Yeah, like it's going to happen. So I'm freaking out and I'm like kind of trying to say no. And this is like the yaoi paddle era of anime conventions where no means yes. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
hey guys,
Oh,
like I'm cool with making out, but like, can we not have the sex? Like, can we make out? Like, I don't even want to see you guys naked. Like that's still bad for me. And
yeah.
they're ignoring me. So I reach
Yeah. Yeah.
back and I'm like trying to like find a way to leverage myself because I'm handcuffed. One of them's sitting on my chest. One of them's like pulling off my pants. And I eventually reach back and I grab the door handle. And I'm like, oh hell yes. So I grab the door handle, the horde handle, and
Yeah.
I open it, which causes the lights in the van to come on because the moment a door opens, like the van turns on.
Yeah.
And the two girls who were trying to take off my pants at the time like run to the front of the van because they're almost completely naked. And basically, they don't want to be seen by the people outside because we're still in the parking lot of the convention center. And I grab what is it? The bumper, the rear bumper. Like I reach back
Yeah.
and I
The
kind of like
fender.
awkwardly grab the rear bumper and just pull myself as hard as I can. And I wasn't thinking about like my physiology, like gravity or any of that. I slide out backwards with one of the girls still on my chest and just land on my back on hard pavement with just nothing on but my boxers and my pants down to my ankles. And the 4 or 5 people that were chilling outside the con at the time just kind of stare at me like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I pull my pants up. I go find my buddy, and what did I have to do? Because I couldn't come home without a shirt. I think I had to stop by one of my friend's house and borrow like one of his shirts. And I get home after that. Like I drop my friend off at his house. I get home, and I come home, and my mom looks at me, and she's like, "Didn't you wear a different shirt to the convention?" And I was like, "Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Just I'm going up to bed. Love you, mom. I'll catch you later."
Whew.
So yeah, that was the Moth
Ho-
survived the rape story.
Holy shit. I saw like QTEs pop up in my head like in every fucking moment. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, so that was the Moth story. That's the one that Mike will not let me tell on the podcast. So
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't blame him. Holy shit. Wow.
yeah, so I mean, before we wrap up, do you have any stories of like weird stuff you saw in the cons back in the old day?
Oh God, I have a short list, but I don't think anything's gonna top that, man. But I can try.
Yeah, wrap us up.
Um,
Wrap us up with one,
wrap this
Dad.
up. All right, so this is I want to say like the beginning 2010, maybe late 2011. Uh, me and my friend, there's a good friend of mine. He's like he's currently, I think he's currently overseas right now. Um, like fit army guy. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's fucking ready. He's ready to go.
We're not talking about
And
Psy, right?
no, not talking about Sai. I'm not talking about. I don't think Sai is old enough to be in this story.
Okay, okay.
um, um, but he's like, so we're going to this con. This is in Montreal, and he's Colonel Mustanged up. Like he's fucking looking good in his Colonel Mustang cosplay. I'm just there in my hoodie. I'm just kind of there to buy shit and go home and then do whatever. And we're going to this convention, and off the bat, it was already like kind of a weird vibes. Like, oh, the girls are getting a little bit antsy, they're getting a little bit handsy,
Yeah.
but nothing too weird. Like, we're used to this. We're like kind of we're born into this scene and we know what's going on. Um, but so my friend has like me and my friend sparred a lot, like because I still do boxing even though and
Oh,
he
I thought you
do
were gonna be
whatever.
like one of those weird nerds who had like bokens and would hit each other with
Oh
bamboo
no no
swords.
no 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 no! Like we'd actually spar. Like he'd come to my gym and we just go at it.
Yeah.
Um, and we were I was looking at something at a store and he came to me being like, "Yo, dude, we probably start heading out. Like people are getting a little bit like people are getting a little crazier than usual." I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, well, like I saw some chick just like deadbolt tackle this other chick to the ground. And I'm
Glomps.
like, yeah, it's like this is not even a glomp. This is a fucking like fucking runner's tackle. Like that's
Well,
not a glomp.
a
That's not a glomp
glomp.
at that.
The power of the glomp is directly proportional to the weight of the person jumping.
That's fair. That's fair. But like, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like as comfortable as I would normally. I'm like, yeah, you know what, dude? I got you. I'm gonna buy this shit and we're gonna go.
Yeah.
So I bought. I think I bought like. I think I bought like from Rurouni Kenshin manga. I bought my Rurouni Kenshin manga. I forgot what it
Yeah.
was.
This is how I know it's like a mid 2000s story. If you had said like Ramna 1/2, it would have been perfect.
But we're leaving, and I have like the fucking the hunter's vision. I'm aware of my surroundings at all time, and I notice at like my like 7 o'clock, there's this there's these like, this girls in wearing like FMA memorabilia that's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
eyeing up my friend, and I'm like, okay, what they're gonna do? What are you gonna do? Probably
Okay.
nothing. They're probably too much of a coward to actually do anything. So I focus on like walking, talk to my friend.
Okay.
I hear it before I see it.
Okay.
I hear like sprint, like walk, run, and then I hear like wind moving, and like
Oh.
the thunderous slapping sound I've ever like. I have a Brazilian mother. I know what a hard slap sounds like. This
Oh.
was like the hardest slap I have ever heard in my entire life, and I hear my friend like
Go down.
belly no, not go down. He does not go down. He belly screams, pivots, left foot, full momentum, and like fucking shotgun blast this bitches in the mouth. Like this girl like yaoi paddled him in like the ankle or like the thigh or some shit. And as a response, he just cold cocked her. The hardest I have ever seen this man punch in my life.
Dude,
The
Yowie
punch
paddles were a war. Like they should be against the Geneva Convention because
I
those things were
think they
the worst.
are. But he punches this chick and she like almost like comical spins in motion and then like falls.
And that's when
And
you
I'm
know you
just
had to haul ass.
and I'm like I looked at the girl. She's like drool is coming out drool and blood are coming out of her mouth. And I'm like we're gonna go, we're gonna go, we're gonna go, we're
Yeah,
gonna go,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna go. We're gonna
Not that I condone women, but regardless of what, or not that I condone hitting women, but regardless of the circumstances that lead up to you hitting a woman, the moment you do, you disappear or you're a dead man.
you vanish like the
Yeah,
fucking wind.
like
I
I don't
mean,
condone it under any circumstance, but if a situation arises where it happens, you get out as fast as possible.
you just run.
Nobody will
We
understand why. You're just a dead
so,
man.
So it's me and Colonel Mustang just bolting towards the exit door. I think I'm seeing like security like coming behind us, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
because
oh,
they weren't there while
fucking
she was hitting people with the yaoi paddle, but they'll be there now that
they,
you cold clocked her.
they're there once the fucking paramedics are being called in, and I'm like, and we get out of the convention center and we go to we're fucking dry heaving. We go to a McDonald's to change, and we go to a place to eat because we're not gonna eat McDonald's because no.
No, it's
Um,
McDonald's. At the time,
it's
it was
also,
disgusting.
and we're also in Montreal. There's better food like block around the corner.
Yeah, it's Canada. They haven't been completely overrun with crappy fast food yet.
Exactly. And I'm just like I'm eating my poutine, and he's just like looking at his pizza, like staring down at like, what did I do? I'm like, dude, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just get
Um,
out.
and it got like it was so bad, like literally like I think it was on like the school newspaper where it was like,
Angry
yeah,
black man just cold clocks innocent girl
no,
with yaoi paddle.
well this dude was white. Let's be real here. This dude was white, so it
Oh,
was just like
that's okay. He won't see any jail time.
he won't see any jail time exactly. But like it's just like I that's why like I see people like my friends that I made through Boston are like, man, I hate how like there are guys who wear ahego shit in public
Ah,
during the con, and I'm
that
like,
is.
honey, I literally watched a grown ass man scream like a little girl and cold cock a girl in the mouth because she hit him with a yaoi paddle. We have it good. We have it so at least we're not dealing with actual fucking assaults anymore.
Yeah, but there's
like,
also like I don't know. I feel like a child. If like a child sees a dude just cold clock a woman randomly, it'll go by their peripheral vision. But if a kid sees some dude wearing a shirt of chicks just getting raw dogged on it, like that's a little bit more graphic.
oh yeah, I 100% agree. I don't agree with like at least wait till like the like 10 p.m. when it becomes the 18 plus
Yeah.
events,
When a
right? Where
lot
it's
of
like
cons like they're like we'll save like the corpse party streaming until 10 o'clock. You know.
we'll save the fucking God, what's that
The
creepy ass Vita game? Um,
oh the prison concept.
Conception. We'll leave the Conception playthrough at the 18 plus panel.
I just
Um,
Conception 2 was the weirdest game for me because I don't beat a lot of video games. Like I think I forced myself to beat MechWarrior 5 and I'm still
yeah.
working my way through BattleTech a year and a half later. But for some reason, Conception and Persona 4, I both just pounded through both of those games. And I hate myself for it.
Man, it's just.
I just
Oh man.
it was if you the one redeeming factor Conception 2 had was the fact that for every random scene where you like embrace an underage girl in a freaking eco chamber, you did it with a guy. Like there was
That's
for
fair.
every like weirdly etchy scene, there was an incredibly gay scene.
And that's the true equalizer. That's all we got. That's all we got.
Yep. But
Oh
yeah,
man.
so I think we're good to wrap up. We went into our time capsule. We talked about why anime cons are better now. Det, do you want to plug your Twitter and what you do on your
Yeah.
Twitter?
Yeah. My Twitter is a mess right now. Um, but if you like political hot takes,
Nope.
but yeah, exactly. But no, if you like anime shit, you like video game shit, if you like just general like JRPG nonsense, all that crap, you can follow me at Steuben Did. That is STOOBIN capital D.
Okay. And I
I
will what I'll do is when I have Mike upload the episode onto YouTube, I'll have him link your Twitter as well.
sure thing.
And I'm Der Mothman. I'm just doing AMVs now because I refuse to get into politics or any social conversation. I just I argued with Mike so hard about not talking about orcs last week. I shouldn't.
I could only imagine. I could only imagine.
Well, I play orcs in 40k, so when I saw that they were trending, I was really
Uh,
excited.
yeah, but then you looked and you were disappointed.
Yeah. So
Oh
thank you, Det.
man.
Thank you for having this talk with me. I'm glad I have somebody who knew what I'm talking about when we're talking about like the
Yeah,
yaoi paddle in this era.
I'm glad that I was invited and I was thought of for this conversation because
What?
I'm glad we have turned over a new leaf, as it were, between
Oh yeah,
us.
seeing as our relationship started with me calling you a piece of crap.
Yeah,
Our relationship literally started with a fist fight.
our relationship started with us both getting fucking warnings on on a fucking mutual server.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
man.
sitting here in A Gate, or the anime channel, just fighting because we can't agree on anything, and then the mods come in and yell at us. We're like, okay, well, I guess we'll handle
Fine.
this like adults because we're both in our late 20s.
Yeah, I can handle this. I can handle this.
So,
And here we go.
I'll, yeah, I'll let you go, Det. We may see you again in future episodes. I mean, I'm just gonna have a rotating cast, so we'll see what happens.
Hey, well, I'd be more than happy to show up again and retell you the tales of con years gone.
We'll cover fighting games.
Hell yeah.
I know Frog will want to get in on that, but I'll hold
Yeah.
it over his head. Like, I gave you a chance, man.
Give you a chance. Give you a
All right,
chance.
I'll catch you later, Det. Thank you, sir.
See you, man.